Welcome to the next part of chapter alcohols, phenol and ether. In last video we have discussed the physical properties, the preparation methods and other methods of alcohol. Today we are going to discuss chemical properties of alcohols. That means we are going to discuss various reactions of alcohols. How do they react under different conditions? Now we know that in alcohol the alkyl group is attached to hydroxyl group. So we can have three types of cleavages here. The first cleavage is cleavage of this oxygen hydrogen bond. So we'll call it as A cleavage. Second cleavage is cleavage of this whole hydroxyl group. So B type of cleavage. And the third is where whole alkyl group as well as hydroxyl group gets involved in the reaction. That is the third type. So we have to study all these three in detail. So we'll begin with the first one. Reaction involving cleavage of oxygen hydrogen bond. Now in that, first of all, let us try to understand that this hydroxyl group has oxygen and hydrogen. So there is electronegativity difference. As a result, there will be charges on oxygen and hydrogen. Now we know that oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen. So what will happen? Therefore, it will pull all the shared pair of electron towards itself. As a result, what will happen? As a result, this oxygen-hydrogen bond becomes weaker. And therefore, release of H plus or release of, I'll say, proton, or in other words, I will say release of active hydrogen becomes easy. As a result, the alcohols, they are considered as acids. If I talk about the particular one, they are considered as Bronsted acids because they are proton donors. So alcohols are considered as acid, but we have to remember that they are weak acidic than water. So if we compare the acidic strength, then alcohols are overall weakly acidic than water. Now if I want to compare the acidic strength of 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree alcohol, what will be the order of acidity? Let us discuss. So if we focus on order of acidity of various alcohols, we find that 1 degree alcohols are highly acidic than 2 degree alcohol and 3 degree alcohols are least acidic. Reason, in 3 degree alcohol we have bulky alkyl groups. And there are 3 bulky alkyl groups. So they exhibit plus I effect. As a result, electron density on oxygen atom increases. Therefore, the proton release becomes difficult and therefore 3 degree alcohols are least acidic. Now we have to prove this acidic nature of alcohols also. So we have to obviously prove it with certain reactions. So the very first is reaction with active metals. Now this is generally question asked that how can you prove acidic nature of alcohol? So you have to give the reaction with active metals, or the next one which I am going to discuss. The reaction with active metals. Now these active metals can be like sodium, magnesium, potassium or aluminum. Now any 1 degree alcohol, when it is treated with active metal like sodium, it gives alkoxy. In this case it will be sodium alkoxy, as well as hydrogen gas is released. Let us take one example. The simplest example, ethanol, when treated with sodium, gives sodium ethoxy and hydrogen gas is released. Okay. The next reaction which can prove the acidic nature of alcohols is reaction with metal hydrides. The reaction occurs in the same way. Alcohol, when treated with any metal hydride, again gives alkoxy and hydrogen gas is released. Ethanol, when treated with metal hydride, let's say sodium hydride, gives sodium ethoxy and hydrogen gas is released. So these are the two reactions by which we can prove the active nature, that alcohols contain active hydrogen, or we can prove that alcohols are acidic in nature. The next reaction which we are going to discuss in the cleavage of oxygen and hydrogen is esterification. Esterification reaction, in this also alcohols have cleavage of oxygen and hydrogen bond. From our basic knowledge, we know that any acid, when it is treated with alcohol, gives us ester along with the formation of water. Now here there is a cleavage of oxygen hydrogen bond, and from here OH is cleaved. As a result, we get water as a byproduct. Now this reaction will be studying again in the chemical properties of acid in chapter aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acid. That's why organic becomes easy, that so many reactions are the repeated one. For example, ethanoic acid, when treated with ethanol, as I have shown you just now, oxygen hydrogen bond from alcohol, OH bond from acid gets cleaved, and we get ethyl ethanoate along with water. Now here what you have to remember is water formed has to be removed continuously. Reason? Because if the water is not removed continuously, then otherwise it will cause hydrolysis of ester. And as a result, a reaction moves in backward direction. And therefore alcohol, in this reaction, water formed which is as a byproduct has to removed continuously. Now ester can be formed by one more method, by reaction of alcohol with acid anhydride. Alcohol, when treated with acid anhydride, gives ester and acid. I would like to show you the mechanism of this reaction. Alcohol treated with anhydride. So anhydride, we know this, they are joined by singly bonded oxygen atom. Here the cleavage takes place. This oxygen and hydrogen bond cleavage takes place. So this OH part goes here, forming acid RCOOH, and this RO part goes to this acid, this part, forming ester. Okay, so we can also form ester by reaction of alcohol with acyl chloride in the presence of pyridine. We get ester. The cleavage is very interesting one. Chlorine from here and hydrogen, active hydrogen from alcohol, they are removed as a byproduct, and the remaining part forms ester. Now pyridine helps in neutralization of HCl. This we have seen even in Darson process, that whenever HCl is formed as a byproduct, generally we use pyridine which neutralizes HCl. So that was all about the reaction involving cleavage of oxygen-hydrogen bond from hydroxyl group. Moving on to the next one, reaction involving cleavage of carbon hydroxyl bond. In that, the first is reaction with hydrogen halide, which we have already studied in the preparation of haloalkanes, that whenever any alcohol reacts with hydrogen halide in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 gives haloalkane along with water, and this process is known as Gru's process. We have already seen in the last chapter haloalkanes that especially HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2, this reagent is known as Lucas reagent. Now, how this Lucas reagent is useful to us? In chemistry, we have one very interesting question in our board exams, to have a distinguishing test between a pair of compound. That's a sure question of 2 marks. A pair of compound will be given to you, and you are supposed to write down any test, chemical test, that will help to distinguish between that. So let us see the distinguishing test. For alcohols, especially if I want to distinguish between 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree alcohol, I will use this Lucas reagent, and the test is known as Lucas test. So, if any alcohol is treated with HCl in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 with 1 degree, with 2 degree and 3 degree, it will show different type of reaction. If it is a 3 degree alcohol, then immediately turbidity will be seen in the test tube. But if it is a 2 degree alcohol, then turbidity will be observed after some time. And in case it is 1 degree alcohol, we obtain turbidity after prolonged heating. So this helps us to distinguish between 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree alcohol. By using this chemical test, we can easily find out whether the given alcohol is 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degree. Now I will show you a standard pattern how a distinguishing test is written. So here is the example of how to write a distinguishing test. The question comes straightforward as write a distinguishing test between following pair of a compound. I have taken the example of propane 1-ol and propane 2-ol. It's always better if you write the answer in such a tabular form. It becomes very easy. Now, you have to write both the compounds given to you, and I will advise you to write their structures also, and that gives us idea which test has to be applied. You will write the name of the test, the reagent. This being a 1 degree alcohol will give turbidity after prolonged heating. Generally we have to heat for 30 to 40 minutes. And this being a 2 degree alcohol gives turbidity after some time. That is, we have to give heating after just for 5 to 10 minutes. So this is how you will write the distinguishing test in your board exams. The next reaction, which involves the cleavage of OH bond, is reaction with PCl3 or PCl5. This again we have already discussed in the chapter haloalkanes, in the preparation of haloalkanes. Any alcohol, whenever it is treated with either phosphorus trichloride or phosphorus pentachloride, will give us corresponding haloalkane. It will give us chloride along with the byproduct phosphorus acid and phosphorus oxychloride. So these are the reactions involving the cleavage of OH bond. We'll move on to the next part, that is reaction involving cleavage of both alkyl and OH. In reaction involving both alkyl and hydroxyl group, we have two types. The first one is dehydration and the second is oxidation. So I will begin with the first one, dehydration. Generally, dehydration is carried out by using acid. Ethanol, when it is treated with concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin, by the loss of active hydrogen, it will form ethene. If you move to 2 degree alcohol, then it will also give ethene. 3 degree alcohol, that is also giving an alkene. But you must have noticed one thing, that as we move from 1 degree alcohol to 2 degree and 2 degree to 3 degree, the reaction conditions are getting milder. So we can say the order of reactivity, or I will say the order of dehydration. 3 degree, they undergo dehydration very fast as compared to 2 degree and as compared to 1 degree. We have to study the mechanism of especially this one, the formation of alkene from 1 degree alcohol by using concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin. The mechanism of acidic dehydration of alcohol. All the mechanisms, as I have told you, they are all important one. Sure question of 2 marks. Either the question is asked directly, that write the mechanism of a particular reaction, or for one particular step, for one particular sequence, the question can be asked. So the first one, I have taken the example of conversion of ethanol to alkene using concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin. So the very first step is protonation of alcohol to get protonated alcohol. That means the oxygen will have extra proton for that. Now this alcohol, oxygen will have 2 lone pairs. H plus comes from acid, so 1 pair will be donated to that proton. I have already told you in my last videos that the arrows always move from negative to positive, or they move from high electron density to low electron density. As a result, 1 hydrogen will be added and oxygen will develop a positive charge. In the next step, there will be release of water molecule to form carbocation, and it will be a slow step. Since it will be a slow step, it will be rate determining step. This protonated alcohol, this whole is removed as a water molecule. As a result, this carbon develops a positive charge, forming a carbocation. In the third step, ethene is formed. The hydrogen from the alkyl group leaves. The bond shifts here, and as a result, alkene is formed. Now the ethene formed has to be removed. Again, the reason, to keep the equilibrium, so as to keep equilibrium in forward direction. So that's what about dehydration. Let us move on to oxidation. This is, I will say, which is very important concept, conceptual wise, because in complete the equation type, in conversions, the oxidation and the choice of oxidizing agent matters a lot. The oxidation of alcohols will involve the cleavage of both carbon hydrogen as well as oxygen hydrogen bond. Now let us see alcohols. When they are oxidized, they form aldehyde. Aldehyde, when they are further oxidized, they form alcohol. The twist is that when we are converting alcohol to aldehyde, we have to choose mild oxidizing agent. And when we are converting aldehyde to carboxylic acid, we need strong oxidizing agent. So suppose any reaction requires the conversion of alcohol to aldehyde, you have to take mild oxidizing agent. And suppose any reaction requires the conversion of alcohol to directly acid, then in that case we can convert it directly by using a very strong oxidizing agent. This is also reason that when we are converting alcohol to aldehyde, we are using mild oxidizing agent. If we use a strong oxidizing agent like alkaline KMnO4 or acidified potassium dichromate, directly acid will be formed. Now, the same thing happens in a reverse way also. The aldehydes on reduction, the acids on reduction gives aldehyde, and the aldehydes on reduction gives alcohol. Again, if I choose the strong reducing agent, the acid will be directly reduced to alcohol. And therefore, we have to discuss a lot of oxidizing agent under this category. Suppose I have taken 1 degree alcohol, I can convert it to aldehyde by using mild oxidizing agent like CrO3. But on the other hand, if I have 2 degree alcohol, on oxidation it gives us ketone. The oxidation will be carried out by using PCC, pyridinium chlorchromate. Now these reactions involve the chemical property of alcohol, the preparation of aldehyde as well as the preparation of alcohol. In the preparation of alcohol, we have seen that reduction of aldehyde gives us 1 degree alcohol and the reduction of ketone gives us 2 degree alcohol. Now we are studying the exact opposite way, that 1 degree alcohol on oxidation gives aldehyde and 2 degree gives ketone. 3 degree alcohol generally they do not undergo oxidation, but rather they will go for dehydration. Reason, it is the absence of alpha hydrogen atom, and therefore 3 degree alcohol do not prefer for oxidation. Let us discuss some examples related to this. Suppose I have taken any 1 degree alcohol like ethanol, and I have carried out oxidation using mild oxidizing agent like pyridinium chlorchromate. It will give me aldehyde. And if I carry out oxidation further by using strong oxidizing agent such as alkaline KMnO4 or acidified potassium dichromate, it will give us acid containing same number of carbon atom. And therefore this is very useful method during conversions, as there is no change in the number of carbon atoms. Suppose I have taken a 2-degree alcohol like propane 2-ol. Then on oxidation it will give me ketone. So I will say the alcohols on oxidation will give carbonyl compound like aldehyde and ketone. Now it will depend, if it is 1-degree alcohol then aldehyde, if it is 2-degree alcohol then ketone. If the vapors of 1-degree or 2-degree alcohol, they are passed over copper at 573 Kelvin, then also we get either aldehyde or ketone. Let us solve one question based on this. This is a famous pattern that we are supposed to identify the reagent used in the particular reaction. So here are certain examples. The first one, oxidation of 1-degree alcohol to carboxylic acid. Now since we have to convert directly alcohol to acid, we will use a strong oxidizing agent like either alkaline KMnO4 or acidified potassium dichromate. The second one, oxidation of 1-degree alcohol to aldehyde. Now we have to stop the oxidation at this step, and therefore we'll use mild oxidizing agent, let's say like pyridinium chlorchromate. Dehydration of propane 2-ol to propane, that is alcohol has to be converted to alkene, therefore we will use concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin. And lastly, butane 2-on to butane 2-ol, that is we have to convert ketone to alcohol, therefore we'll carry out a reduction by using sodium boron hydride, or we can even carry out hydrogenation in presence of catalysts like nickel, palladium, etc. The use of oxidation has its own importance in the conversions. We'll be doing many conversions and many reactions in the upcoming videos. For today, I'm taking a break. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. In the next part of the video, we'll be studying about the physical properties of phenol, preparation method of phenol, chemical properties of phenol, and special reactions of phenol. So have a nice day.